And today we're doing the top 10 movies of the last decade. Mike, you're taking that list and go.
Well, I have my list is kind of all over the place. I try to represent all the different genres of movies that I personally enjoy that were also somewhat relevant. The first one is not relevant at all, which is why it's at number 10, but I really enjoyed the movie. It's Can't You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy, where she plays a kind of an alcoholic writer who is down on her luck and starts selling her. She had collected like personal notes written by different authors. She started selling them because she had fallen on hard times. And then she got the idea to start forging personal letters written by popular authors. She starts making some money from that. She's also a lesbian, so she starts developing a relationship with one of the women that's been buying her forged documents, and it's just really interesting. I like the tone of the movie a lot. I honestly don't know who directed it, but she has a really fun friend whose name also escapes me. But he's kind of an interesting actor. He's done a lot of stuff. So I thought it was really good to show off Melissa McCarthy's range. You know, you kind of think of her as the female Chris Farley, but this gave her the opportunity to really show her dramatic chops.
Yeah.
Kristen?
Next up, this was originally a TV show in the UK, and they cut together the first series, as they call them, and made a movie. It's The Trip with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. I've watched this movie at least 10 times. It's kind of my go-to. I'm sitting around, got nothing to do, because it's just really lighthearted. Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan are traveling the English side, trying out different restaurants. Steve Coogan's girlfriend was supposed to go along with him, but she had to go to LA, so he invites Rob Brydon, and they had this kind of there's a lot of friction in their relationship, but they're friends, so they kind of rag on each other. They both do impressions, so that's just a lot of fun. They play fictionalized versions of themselves. So it's just, they kind of represent, one's a family man and one's still kind of a playboy, even in his older age. So it's about these two actors that have had varying degrees of success and how they're dealing with getting older. It's just a fun movie.
I like how you have to describe all these movies because no one has a fucking clue what movies are about.
Well, those are, I put those at the bottom of the list because they are kind of obscure.
Okay.
Oh shit.
The next group of flicks I think will be much more recognizable. Pitch Perfect,
Yeah. Okay.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah. Surprisingly good, right?
Shockingly good. The
Yeah.
first time I saw it, I think, was with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you ladies.
And I think when you were describing it, I was like, oh yeah, it's about this all-female a cappella group. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man? But I had a really good time with that movie. I haven't seen any of the sequels. Have you guys seen the sequels?
No.
Maybe
Parts of the second one.
Yeah. They're okay. They definitely follow the normal sequel pattern. They kind of degrade as you go down the line.
Sure. Yeah, I thought it was a really good cast. The musical bits were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There was some good comedy in it. A decent message about, finding your own truth and all that. But all that kind of takes a backseat. I like that they don't spend too much time trying to be overly philosophical.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, Fat Amy,
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. That New Zealand chick.
Great. Yeah.
She's done a couple of other things that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Coming in at number, where are we? 6 is Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
Love the cinematography. Special shout out to Dave Bautista, who, he's only in the movie for the first 10 minutes or whatever, but I thought he did a great job. He was also really good in Marauders.
I was just saying the same thing like 2 days ago. It's really been shocking, to follow his career, because there's been a couple of like Rock and others who have come out of like wrestling, but he's a surprisingly good actor. He really is. I got to give him credit.
Obviously, The Rock is a bigger star, but I think Dave Bautista, specifically in Marauders, I thought he was really good. I feel like he's a better actor.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. He's a surprisingly good actor in a range of roles. Including Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he did really, really good as Drax.
Yeah, I'd agree. Really good comedic timing.
Yeah, yeah,
I think some of his bigger lines were improvised as well, which is impressive.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, supposedly they may just say that to hype him up, but
Yeah.
Well, wrestlers, I'm sure, method acted out the ass. So that
yeah, I
might.
was thinking the same thing. Yeah, yeah, they're used to they can get into the role of a heel or a good guy. They're not all just muscle.
Okay,
Definitely,
enough of your Batista love letter.
huh?
Do you have something more for us, Mike?
I do. I have a few more here. Into the Spider Verse is coming in next. I didn't catch it in theaters, which I regret. I saw it on Netflix, the recommendation of a friend of mine. It is probably my second favorite animated movie of all time behind.
Is your number one going to be up here, or is it that much older?
Oh, no, no.
That is-
Titan AE is my number one favorite
Oh,
animated movie of all time.
Yeah, that's old. Okay.
Yeah. But I really like the voice acting, especially Nick Cage. I thought he kind of killed it with the noir Spider. And Chris Pine as Spider-Man. I thought that was a really good choice. And then the little things, like I think they cut out some frames from when Miles Morales and Spider-Man are escaping from that lab or whatever, because it was supposed to illustrate that Miles Morales still didn't really know what he was doing. So little things like that, I think, kind of make that movie really good. That is, surprisingly enough, the only comic book movie on my top 10. I do have a couple in the honorable mentions, but I didn't want to focus too much on those.
Yeah, they're dominating the market right now. Why give them any more limelight on a list like this? But
And a lot of them are good.
Marvel fans.
Yeah, a lot of them are legitimately good. So it's not that I'm being snobby about it. I don't share Martin Scorsese's belief in cinema, because they are. There have been opportunities for good acting. I just didn't want, like you said, to make it just a Marvel.
Understand. I think the Joker sort of would be an exception to his rule.
Yeah, I haven't
That
seen the
has a
Joker
weird
yet.
history behind it. Neither have I, but from what I hear about it, I think what Scorsese was trying to say is that these movies are produced by committee and not by auteur, not a single director's vision. I think that's what he means by his statement. I think it's extremely stupid, because even if you are making a movie by committee, you have more input on it, and it'll give it more of a cinematic appeal to it. But that's what I think he was talking about. Continue, Mike. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that kind of makes sense. And I honestly, I think that statement itself, I know it's been done, but it may be worth a whole nother full conversation. Anyway, next up on my list, I wanted to put at least one Wes Anderson movie on here. And probably my two favorite Wes Anderson movies were made in the last 10 years. So I debated a lot about Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom. And I actually fell on Moonrise Kingdom. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. But what set Moonrise Kingdom apart for me is when I learned that it's all supposed to be from the perspective of the kids. So I didn't realize that in the first watch through. Went back and watched it again, and when the kids have their weapons, and one has like this giant machete, it was probably actually just a pocket knife, But in their minds, they saw these as serious weapons. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I hadn't even heard about it until I was watching the Oscars when Bill Murray, I think, was nominated. I was like, wait a minute, there's a Wes Anderson movie with Bill Murray that was nominated for an Oscar? Have I not even heard about this? And yeah, that's a personal.
We know you're all about the Bill Murray, Mike.
It's hard not to like Bill Murray. Who doesn't like Bill Murray?
No fucking Murray.
Maybe Bill Murray's the only person who doesn't like Bill Murray.
That's
I can see
actually
that.
probably true, yeah. I could see him being a little self-loathing. Next up, here's where we really get into some of the more blockbuster territory, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be on there. Yeah, I agree.
Just a simple concept, It's funny because, simple concept. Okay, we're going to drive through the desert, but then they managed to do it so over the top. That really impressed me. I like, I always like protagonists that don't say much, really figure out or, impose what you think their motivation is. At least Theron did a great job. Just the look of it. You guys know me. I love desert movies anyway. So that was,
I was going to say, I think we've mentioned that before, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, everything about it. I think you actually gave me a copy for my birthday a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
Mhm.
Next up is actually one of my favorite movies of all time, Django Unchained.
Okay. That was in,
Django.
yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I like their kind of subtle nods to westerns of yore. They have they took bits from the soundtrack for Two Mules for Sister Sarah. I thought that was really nice. Great characters. It's a Western with that Tarantino style. I think it is actually like the third best Western of all time, in my opinion. My favorite
I could see
movies
that.
it had.
What would be ahead of it?
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
And I feel like there would have to be a Jimmy Stewart Western on there. Just
Really?
Yeah.
Or John Wayne.
Okay.
no, John Wayne.
Tombstone?
The original True Grit,
True Grit. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
which I wanted to put a Coen Brothers movie on here, but they haven't really done much that was good in the last 10 years. No Country for Old Men was before 2010. Otherwise, they had like Hail Caesar, which I didn't like, and Inside Llewellyn Moss, which I never saw. I do like Coen Brothers. Coming down to the top two, I'll do my honorable mentions after my next one here. Baby Driver, number 2.
Okay. That was the only one that I saw in theaters. I thought that definitely deserved a place on this list, so I'm glad.
I wish so much I saw it in theaters. I didn't catch it until it came on demand. And I like Edgar Wright. I like car chases. And I like Jamie Foxx a lot. So, and I love a good soundtrack. Oh, that's the other thing about Django. Superb soundtrack. I actually bought it on vinyl. Good mix of original songs and songs used for the movie. So yeah, I like the fact that Edgar Wright, I think, wrote or figured out what he wanted the soundtrack to be before he actually finished the script. Baby Driver.
Makes
I
sense.
think that's a really neat concept, and I like John Hamm in there. The whole movie, great. That's why it's my number 2. So before we get to my personal favorite movie of the last decade, I have a few honorable mentions here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Endgame and Ragnarok. I'm going to put them both together here.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you're going to talk about Marvel movies from the last decade, like because you have Iron Man that's before the 2010s, I think Ragnarok is definitely the one I'd put up there.
Yeah, and I really you wouldn't have Ragnarok without Guardians of the Galaxy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think Ragnarok.
See, I didn't see Ragnarok because I didn't like the Thor mythos. I did like Guardians of the Galaxy much better. But that's more the first few movies. I heard Ragnarok's good. Maybe I'll have to go back around to it. I just don't like Thor as a character.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, like, to be honest, like, Ragnarok is almost a complete departure from the first two, like, Thor films. He's almost a completely different character in that one.
Okay,
Absolutely.
more like the Endgame Thor.
Yes.
That was good Thor.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you liked Endgame Thor, this explains how he got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say this about Marvel, since we're talking about it. There are a few really good examples of them having phenomenal character arcs. Maybe not so much with Ant-Man or whatever, but definitely like Thor, Tony Stark. You can really see, they were here and they got over here in terms of who they were.
I have to mention one thing, Mike. No Black Panther?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
I
it.
was actually more surprised that none of the new Spider-Mans were on your list.
I saw Homecoming. I haven't seen Far From Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's true.
Some of the better outings, I think, from the MCU lately.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I'm glad that they worked out a deal, Sony and Marvel,
Yeah.
to keep that going. 'Cause I think Tom Holland is probably on-screen Spider-Man that we've seen. I tried really hard to like Andrew Garfield. A couple other honorable mentions here. Moon, I liked, with Sam Rockwell. Or Dax Shepard. I always get them confused on. But that's, kind of almost a 2001 Space Odyssey homage.
Mm-hmm.
And, I like stuff that is keeping sci-fi alive. It was, a true sci-fi movie. It wasn't, all about, and I do like me a good space battle, but, it wasn't a space battle sci-fi movie. It was kind of almost a thriller. I enjoyed. Secret Life of Walter Mitty, I thought was worth a mention. Definitely not top 10 worthy, but outside of Zoolander, probably my favorite Ben Stiller performance.
I could see that.
Yeah, I like Sean Penn sometimes too, and he had a kind of a fun role. I feel like Walter Mitty could have been a Wes Anderson movie, just in kind of some of the levity. A couple more honorable mentions before we get to my number 1. The Nice Guys, Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just a fun kind of campy buddy cop movie. Set in the 70s. That's another one that I've seen probably 4 or 5 times. Just a really good thing to have on. It has like some really witty lines, but it's it doesn't think too much of itself as a movie.
Hmm.
I appreciate. And the last one before my number one, this movie, I was shocked at how much I enjoyed this movie. This was literally something that I had on while I was cooking dinner one night and couldn't help myself from laughing often and hard. Spy, another Melissa McCarthy movie. It's her and Jason Statham. She works in operations essentially for this spy firm. Jason Statham, who thinks he's James Bond, is actually just this bumbling idiot, and Melissa McCarthy has to help him out of different jams. So shocked at how much I honestly enjoyed this movie. It sounds like a stupid concept. It seems like it'd be in line with Get Smart, which is a god-awful movie, but really thoroughly enjoyable.
I'll have to watch that.
Steve Carell makes everything worse.
Melissa McCarthy,
And-
she surprisingly can really like carry a comedy. Like, I mean, like just like the like little offbeat like Identity Theft and Tammy and all this. Like she can actually carry a comedy even when the script sucks.
Yeah, she goes all in, it seems, no matter what she's doing, even after she got super popular.
Breaking into the accents today, huh?
I guess so, yeah. I wish that she would get more roles beyond just being like because she's good with physical comedy, but I feel like she's kind of gotten pigeonholed into doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my number one movie of the last decade is, I think, the best sci-fi movie of our time. It's Interstellar.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to see it on IMAX. I didn't, and I regret that to this day. Yeah, it absolutely was.
I remember you forcing me to see it like 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, I
Visit
forgot
you.
about that.
You were really fascinating. The reason why Interstellar does not affect me that much is because they use a lot of standard tropes in sci-fi, and it wasn't that mind-blowing to me.
Oh, it
I feel-
definitely wasn't. It was not a unique concept. They weren't bringing a lot of unique ideas to the table. But I mean, you got John Lithgow, you got Matthew McConaughey, got a surprise appearance by Matt Damon, which no one saw coming.
Yeah.
Even Topher Grace, who I like, in there with a minor role. Michael Caine, what's her name from Les Miserables? What's her name? Anne Hathaway. Great cast, great directing. And like you said, the whole time travel, gravity, space-time thing is not a unique concept, but just the execution.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They executed it well. They really did.
They even had, and what, like I said with Moon, it's a sci-fi movie, but it's not a space battle movie. It's the Earth is dying. This blight has taken over the crops. We got to figure out a way to get off the planet here. Michael Caine, the whole time, he was just trying to send seeds out into the universe. He didn't really expect anyone to start a new colony. Great flick.
I like that approach too, because it's not the whole, an asteroid is going to blow up the Earth in 3 days kind of thing.
Sure.
It's not the like, it's kind of the like think ahead, and methodically solve the problem kind of like film, rather than like the, oh God, we got to do something now. And it's all this like drama and action and that kind of stuff,
For sure. Yeah, it's not Bruce Willis going to blow up an asteroid.
Exactly.
And I really enjoy Christopher Nolan's directing overall.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll see Tenet. That looks kind of lame in my opinion.
There's a couple on there I was surprised didn't make your list. I really like 12 Years a Slave.
Never saw it.
Yeah, this is a really good film. And this is one of my favorite that guy actors, that I think, and he's actually in Interstellar. This, how do you say his name?
Oh, yeah.
Chowedo Ejiofor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he was one of my favorite characters back in Serenity. And I think he did an excellent job in 12 Years a Slave. Really good movie. Hidden Figures was actually pretty good, too, about the space program.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. And actually just watched this again yesterday, The Hunt for the Wilder People. director from Ragnarok.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's the blanking on his name. It's the guy from Jurassic Park, Dr. Grant. He's in it, and
Oh,
and it's a all set in New Zealand, where I think the entire cast is actually New Zealanders. But he's in it, and a kid from Deadpool 2. But it's just a really good kind of like I don't know if it's a drama, but it's like a buddy comedy kind of thing between him and this kid. Kid's a foster kid, and like the guy and his wife adopt him, and then his wife dies, and they like go off into the New Zealand bush, and and they are being like chased by social services and the cops and stuff. But it's a really funny little comedy, kind of a off the beaten path kind of movie, but it was really good.
you don't have to look that up. You said it was Search for the Wilder People?
It's Hunt for the Wilder People.
Now, is that the one? What was the book? The kid's book?
It was based on a book. I don't know if there's a kid's book, but it was based on a book.
Where the Wild Things Are. That's what I was
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's something different.
I gotcha.
They did make a movie of that.
Yeah.
This is why I sort of bowed out of this subject matter. I have not seen a lot of movies. Anime, I would be more up to speed on, and maybe some TV shows. But let me not spoil that list. I have more of an opinion on TV shows. I've been getting into more serial series, television series, things that continue. And
Sure.
these seem like rather sad in my opinion. Sometimes they don't. I just don't know why movies have not been hitting me hard for the last decade. They just seem like one and done. When it's like a series, like I don't want to say the Hunger Games or anything like that, but I like that sort of thing, but with more depth than the Hunger Games.
I mean, it really has.
Sure.
Marvel Cinematic Universe attracted me more than a lot of these movies. But that's why I bowed out, and this is the last 2 cents about movies I will put in. I'm a heathen when it comes to modern movies.
I mean, whatever. We all like what we like.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it's tough too, because like movies have gotten so expensive. It's hard to like see multiple movies in like a month's time. So I feel like you kind of do like just go to the big blockbuster films, and most of those have been MCU or other Disney franchises. So like we haven't really gotten the like ability to be exposed to like a lot of different movies like in the past, where you could go to like sometimes even like 2 movies and 3 movies in a week if there was a bunch out that you really wanted to see. Now
Yeah, I think looking over the list, the only ones that I saw in the theater were Mad Max, and I think that's it, actually.
yeah, I was gonna say there's not a whole lot, but of course thanks to streaming you get to pick up a lot of stuff like at home.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's so much
Yeah.
streaming. You don't know what's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when they do, they call it day and day on demand. When the movie's out in the theater, you can also get it at home. And as long as, they only charge $7 or whatever, I would be all for, seeing brand new movies in my house. And I would be more than, even, I feel like, we're kind of going through subscription fatigue, I think, at this point. But one subscription service that I would absolutely sign up for is, if like Regal or someone offered a subscription service where you can watch brand new movies at home, I would pay $20 a month for that.
That'd be kind of a cool concept, to be able to like, stream whatever's currently in the theater.
Not wear pants and eat popcorn and watch a new movie from home.
I feel like that may be the only reason that they wouldn't have the concession sales.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, some things are still going to be better. Some things are still going to be better on the big screen.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully something that ends up happening.
I guess even if it says a lot, we didn't have any Star Wars films on there.
Yeah. I considered it mainly for the cultural relevance. I also thought about putting Deadpool on the list for cultural relevance.
Yeah.
Logan, I almost put on the list.
I mean,
Logan may be...
Rogue One would have been the only Star Wars one for me, to be honest, to make a top 10 list. Or honorable mention.
Sure.
At least in the last decade, I mean,
Yeah. I would agree. If I were to choose one, it would be Rogue One. Well, maybe Force Awakens, just for, again, the the relevance.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, thank you for joining us on our attempt of Top 10 Tuesday again. And hope you don't hate us too much. Just we'll try to shake it off.